Yesterday, the British government lost two of its defence ministers in a single day. The Defence Secretary quit in the morning. His possible replacement at the Armed Forces Ministry quit hours later, after doing an unauthorised television interview in which he effectively told the Prime Minister he was considering leaving, and then left. Two resignations, one day, one subject. The country is more dangerous than any point in recent decades, and the people responsible for keeping it safe decided they couldn't keep pretending otherwise. And into this moment, this genuine moment of national seriousness, Reform UK Limited sent Richard Tice to GB News to do a victory lap. But we'll come back to that. Let's start with Carns, because he deserves more than a footnote in somebody's bad day.
Al, are you still a minister?
I am. I'm the Minister of Armed Forces within the Defence. Yeah.
OK, for now at least. We'll come to that a bit later, perhaps.
That exchange, which opened the interview, turned out to be more accurate than the interviewer probably intended. Carns resigned a couple of hours later. Here's what you need to know about who he is. 24 years in the Royal Marines, 5 tours of Afghanistan, Military Cross for gallantry in 2011, OBE, Distinguished Service Order, received from the King. He turned down promotion to Brigadier to stand for Parliament. By most assessments, the most decorated sitting MP. He's not a politician who found a defence brief. This is a man who buried friends in it.
Well, so what did you think when Number 10 presented you with the sign-off for this deal?
I mean, I wasn't in the Defence Investment Plan. I saw it 2 weeks ago. And when I saw it, I wasn't happy with the level of transformation within it, particularly the lessons from Ukraine, uncrewed systems, automation, and pulling those lessons into every section of our armed forces. So I think there's much more work to be done in that space.
The "it" he's referring to is the Defence Investment Plan, the government's flagship document for how Britain intends to arm itself for the next decade. The Minister of Armed Forces saw it for the first time 2 weeks before resigning. Now, he wasn't involved in writing it, or he was not consulted on it. He was just handed it and asked to implement it. And when he read it, he thought it was inadequate and potentially dangerous.
So when you got that plan from Number 10, when you saw it and it really wasn't fit for purpose, did you think about quitting yourself?
Well, when the defence good hesitation there. The Defence Investment Plan as a whole, I haven't been involved.
He catches himself mid-sentence, and you can hear the discipline of someone trained not to say more than he should, briefly losing that battle with someone who has simply had enough. The resignation letter is one of the better pieces of political writing you'll read this year, partly because it wasn't written by a political operation, and you can tell. It was written by a Marine. We are still purchasing capabilities suitable for the last war while our adversary is armed for the next one. Platforms that cost billions can be defeated by systems that cost thousands. He also says a serious country funds its defence to meet the threat it actually faces, not the threat it wished to be faced. Now, to understand why Carns and Healey got to this point, you need to understand what Starmer actually inherited. In 2010, Britain spent 2.47% of GDP on defence. By 2023, that figure was 2.28%. In the years between, the defence budget was cut by roughly 20% in real terms. The army was deliberately shrunk, from 102,000 soldiers to 82,000 soldiers, by design under the 2010 Strategic Defence Review. Recruitment targets were missed every single year from 2010 onwards. Not most years, every single year. The accumulated shortfall across 2010 to 2023 ran over 22,000 army recruits alone. These things compound, and you can't hollow out a military for 15 years and fix it with a single spending announcement. The people who left didn't come back. The capabilities that weren't built don't exist. The institutional knowledge that walked out the door is gone. Starmer's government have invested an extra $6.1 billion in defence, funded by cutting the overseas aid budget, and committed to reaching 2.5% of GDP by April 2027 and 3% by the end of this Parliament. Now that is a meaningful shift. Whether it's fast enough, given what Carns and Healey were seeing from the inside of the department, it's a fair question. But the idea that this crisis materialised on Labour's watch is a convenient rewriting of 15 years of Conservative leadership. The party screaming the loudest about defence underfunding yesterday is the parties whose predecessors engineered it.
Is it fair to say, you hesitated when I asked if you'd considered quitting, is it fair to say you are currently considering your position?
So within the situation, I need to do what is right by the armed forces. And if I don't think that's right, then I will absolutely consider my position. And from my perspective at the moment, we have not closed with this deal. When we have closed with this deal, I will decide my position.
He resigned yesterday evening, and his letter makes a broader point. It's not really about budget line, it's about whether the government is serious, whether it can look at an uncomfortable reality and respond to it, or whether it manages problems rather than faces them. That's his phrase, and one that applies more to than just defence. The same instinct, he writes, runs through the Northern Ireland Legacy Bill, serious problems being managed rather than faced. The new Defence Secretary, Dan Jarvis, now inherits an unresolved funding gap, a plan of his predecessors that considered inadequate, and a NATO summit next month at which Britain will need to say something credible. So, yeah, good luck to him. Now, Reform UK Limited. While all of this was unfolding, Reform's deputy leader was on GB News having a very good time.
And it's good to protect British citizens. And basically, John Healey's had enough. Literally days before they were due to produce the Defence Investment Plan.
Richard Tice, you say this government isn't walking the walk on defence. You haven't even got a defence spokesman.
We are the only party...
You haven't got one, so what? How can you possibly accuse Labour?
Because we're...
you are walking the walk. Who's your defence spokesman? Who is he?
Nigel. Because
Nigel, he's the future Prime Minister.
Nigel. That's Reform's answer to the most serious defence crisis in a generation. Richard Tice's actual designated portfolio as of February this year is business, trade and energy. The person pressed to name a defence spokesman gave the name of the leader, whose job it is officially isn't, I suppose, on the grounds that he will eventually run the country. Reform have been screaming about defence for 2 years. Yesterday, the question became concrete and unavoidable. Their answer was a man whose official brief covers energy prices and business regulation.
Literally, we're the only party at the general election that said we've got to get to 2.5% in 3 years, 3% in 6 years.
You don't take it seriously. You don't walk the walk either.
We took it more seriously than anybody, and we've taken it ever seriously ever since. We've constantly said that. We show how you pay for it. You don't need net stupid zero. You don't need to pay billions on printed money from the Bank of England to rich city institutions.
You haven't got a defence spokesman.
That
says everything about your seriousness as a party. If they let me finish, let me finish.
What matters,
if you think you're a serious party of defence, who is your spokesman?
What matters is the money. And we've provided the money. We've shown how you do it. That's what matters.
Can you name?
That's why we're leading in the polls.
Can you name your defence spokesman?
That's why we're leading in the polls.
It's not an MP, is it? It's someone else. Who is your defence spokesman?
Look, listen, Nigel and I, we cover foreign and defence, and we know how we get the money.
But your party isn't serious without having a defence spokesman.
Chris,
you can't come into GB News. It insults our
I'll tell you what's
viewers
insulting.
For you to say
I'll tell you what is insulting is for you to say that we're not serious when we've just won 1,400 councillors. We've just won control of 14 councils.
One of them defence secretary.
That is what is serious, right? And we show how we get the money, and people understand that. That's why they're voting for us, Chris.
And to be fair to Chopper, he doesn't actually let it go. Tice falls back on the only answer Reform UK Limited ever gives when pressed for specifics. Scrap net zero, save the money, done. I'm surprised he didn't even get some immigration stuff in there as well. No procurement strategy, no position on drones, no engagement with the Carns actually said in his letter that the character of conflict is changing faster than procurement can keep up with, that billion-pound platforms are being defeated by £1,000 systems, and that we're aiming for the last war. Just all it was Nigel, Nigel, Nigel. Alcorns walked away from promotion to brigadier to try and fix this from the inside. He gave it 2 years, read the plan and decided he couldn't defend it. His letter ends, he will keep fighting for the people he served with. He hopes the government will too. One party lost 2 serious people yesterday because they took defence seriously enough to resign over it. The other party sent a property developer to celebrate on GB News and couldn't even name a spokesman. The gap between those two things is the real story.